Every NBA franchise wants to be remembered. Some want the rings, some want the icons. But the Indiana Pacers, they are the only team in history that the world tried to forget and couldn't. In 2004, they were the best team on the planet. They've had the greatest shooter in history. 6 months later, they were a national disgrace, the most hated villains in sports, and a fan base that treats a basketball game like a religious revival. This isn't just a highlight reel. This is a story about how one plastic cup destroyed a dynasty, how one man silenced the loudest city on earth, and why in the state of Indiana the game of basketball is the only thing that matters between life and death. To understand the Pacers, you have to look past the NBA logo. You have to go to the gravel driveways of French Lick and the high school gyms of Muncie. In Indiana, basketball is the social fabric. It's the only language everyone speaks. When the Pacers joined the NBA from the ABA, they didn't bring showtime. They brought work time. They were the blue-collar response to the glitz of LA and the ego of New York. But every church needs a preacher. And in 1987, they drafted a skinny, trash-talking prophet named Reggie Miller. And the 1990s belonged to Michael Jordan. But the nightmares belonged to Reggie Miller. If you were a Knicks fan, Reggie wasn't just a player. He was a sleep paralysis demon. 8 points, 9 seconds. It's a sequence that defies physics and logic. It was the ultimate F*** you to the media capital of the world. But the glory wasn't just about Reggie's jump shot. It was the 1998 Eastern Conference Finals. Pacers versus Bulls, grit versus greatness. They pushed MJ to the absolute edge. They didn't win the ring, but they won the soul of the state. For a decade, the Pacers were the gold standard of team-first basketball. They were untouchable until they were in November 19, 2004. Write that date down. It's the day the NBA changed forever. The Pacers arrived in Detroit with the best record in the league. They were young, they were angry, and they were unstoppable. Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, Steven Jackson. It was a championship roster built for war. With 45 seconds left, a foul led to a shove. A shove led to Artest laying on the scorer's table. And then ... the cup. A fan's decision to throw a drink triggered a primal explosion. Artest didn't go to the locker room. He went into the stands. It wasn't a sports scuffle. It was a riot on national television. The aftermath was a massacre. The NBA didn't just suspend the players. They tried to erase the team's identity. The Pacers went from championship favorites to thugs in the eyes of the media. The window didn't just close, it was boarded up and burned down. For years, the franchise wandered in the wilderness. They tried to be clean. They tried to be quiet. But quiet doesn't win in Indiana. Even the Paul George era beautiful, defensive masterpiece felt like a shadow of what could have been. To consecutive years, they ran into the LeBron James brick wall. Close, but no cigar. The heartbreak was becoming a tradition. Narrator, but you can't keep Indiana down. 20 years after the Malice, a new energy has arrived. Tyrese Halliburton isn't Reggie Miller, and he isn't Ron Artest. He is something entirely new, a pass-first genius with a smile that has reignited a city that spent too long in the dark. The Pacers are running again. They are scoring again. And most importantly, they are loud again. The scars of 2004 will always be there. The Malice is part of the DNA, but the glory is finally being rewritten. Because in Indiana, the game never ends. It just waits for the next hero to pick up the ball.